Welcome to the Rogers Kakasungura YouTube channel. Today, the Kenya Kwanza members of parliament, led by His Excellency the President, William Samoei Ruto, the ODM members of parliament, led by the Right Honorable Raila Odinga, they have convened a parliamentary group meeting to cement the marriage between the two bigwigs ahead of the 2027 general election. In this meeting, Raila Odinga has received an opportunity to school the members of parliament, including William Samoei Ruto, on why he believes that CDF should be scrubbed off from the hands of members of parliament. If it should exist, the MPs should be barred from directly managing the kitty. I agree with Raila Odinga personally, for the reasons I am going to provide. I know this is a bitter reality, but because this is where members of parliament loot from, this is where they eat from. In fact, if you deny members of parliament CDF, they will starve to death. This is the only funds they manage from the national government. So they are feeling bitter because they know Raila's influence in government. Raila has begun reforms in the Kenya Kwanza government, and a number of them are going to be affected because the time we are in, Ruto must listen to Raila Odinga if he is to maintain him up to 2027. Whatever Raila says and insists, William Ruto implements. Raila is giving a speech to the members of parliament and telling them CDF was making sense before the 2010 constitution. I'll give reasons why. But before that, can we listen to what Raila Odinga said?
So the work of parliament is representation, legislation, and oversight. Very clear, it's written there in the constitution. Parliament is not supposed to be implementing. Parliament is supposed to be oversighting. It's not oversighting. And secondly, there is only two levels of devolution. National and one level, county. Constituency is not an element of devolution. Devolution remains at the county. Down there, the constituency, the county government does implementation of the projects. I'm saying, correct. Down at the constituency, it's the county government. By the national government is supposed to do national projects. And we've gone down there. And there are functions which are clearly been assigned. Functions which have been clearly been assigned to the national government. I will tell you, your legislatures, and a very famous English politician said, that I may not agree with what you have to say, but I shall not defend unto death your right to say it. So listen to me. Let me say it. And then you'll have a chance to come and respond. So I'm telling you, I know that sometimes the truth is very bitter. I was there, and we discussed with the Karue when he was moving around to bring the CDF. The CDF were brought because of circumstances that were prevailing at that time. In those days, with a centralized system of government, there were very little resources which are going down to the counties. And that's the reason why the Harambe became the major ways of mobilizing resources. Sometimes you find nearly 100 cards in your desk for Harambes here and there. Whenever the president moved around, you'll go around to counties, to the districts, and then we'll be addressing people. People will come up to tell them their problem.
You hear? They have jointly heckled Raila until William Ruto, you see, is telling them, keep quiet, nyamazeni kidogo. They cannot allow that discussion to continue because this is where they eat from. This is where they build houses from. This is where they buy clothes from. Hapa ndio wanaiba. So they cannot agree, Raila Odinga, to infringe and destroy the funds. They can't accept it. That's why you hear they're making noise. But let me say this. The Constituency Development Fund in Kenya was initiated in 2003 under Mwai Kibaki. And it became effective in 2004. Around April 2004. Since that time, it's about 11 years. When CDF was being initiated, we had no counties. And the only grassroots government body was the constituency. We had no wards, we had no counties. So the senior most politician at the grassroots was a member of parliament. I remember when Kitutu Chache was a constituency, now split into two. Kitutu Chache North, Kitutu Chache South. When Bogirango was a constituency, now split. Ngine ikaenda Nyamira, ngine ikabaki Kisii. And so many other constituencies. CDF was making sense before the 2010 constitution. Because it was initiated as a kitty to reach citizens at the grassroots level through members of parliament. 7 years later, a new constitution was born, the 2010 constitution. Counties came up. Wards came up. County governments were constitutionally given authority to collect revenue and spend. As much as they received support from the national government, but a county was brought up so that power can trickle down to the people. The people can own governments. That's why kila tribe iko na county yao. Kisii wako na county zao. Kienda Luo Nyanza, they have their counties with Luo governors. Kikuja Kisii wako na county with the Abagusi governors. And other areas. So, when constituencies were given a central power, that is the county level, where tax is collected and it's directly spent to the people. So CDF became meaningless. This is why Raila Odinga is saying, I am of the opinion that members of parliament be excluded from directly managing the funds, because instead of using the funds to uplift the lives of the people, as it were, they are looting the kitty dry. They are milking the funds dry. I know it's a very hard issue for Raila to tackle, but to me, I support it. I support it. Why should we have a bursary from a member of parliament? Why should I have a bursary from a governor? Why should you have a bursary from a woman rep? Why should we have a bursary from an MCA? Can't these funds be consolidated? We give one bursary. Sasa mbunge apeane 5,000. Gavana akule kidogo apeane 3,000. Woman rep na yeye achote kidogo apeane 4,000. Sasa at the end, this money benefits politicians instead of the intended purpose. So how I pray that this suggestion, kuna wabungu wa building roads using their companies. Conflict of interest. Ukitembea hapa constituencies hapa Kenya. Najua mimi nimetembea kidogo. You hear that hizi barabara ni kampuni ya mbunge ndio inajenga. Kampuni ya ndugu yake ndio inajenga. Kampuni ya mama yake ndio inajenga. Kampuni ya mtoto wake ndio inajenga. The money is being looted within the family and it's making little impact. Tasikia akisema kaka tulisomea CDM. Ni sawa, huo wakati it was impactful. That time, times have changed. When times have changed, we also need to change things. We cannot be in the 2010 constitution, but again applying the 2003 constitution that was in force. For what purpose? Because things have changed. Power has been devolved. Education should be devolved as health was. So, God bless you, ladies and gentlemen. See you in the next episode. Asanteni sana.